Hello, my name is Karen, and I just wanted to do an introduction video to PourGirl. You're probably wondering why the name, where did you find it, how did you come up with it, and just why. So I wanted to explain the background behind my choice of name and branding. Also tell you a little bit about myself, how my background in art, and also a little bit about what I make and what I do with it when I'm done with making it. So the name PourGirl comes from kind of three different things. Being that, one, I'm a girl, so I guess four. So girl, obviously girl, and then pour. The way I spell it is P-O-U-R, like you're pouring out a drink, because I do acrylic pours, which then the other part of that is when I started doing acrylic pours, I was in college. Being a college student, I thought that was a funny play on words there. And then being an artist, not all artists are famous and not all artists are millionaires. So poor artist, poor college student doing poor art. So that's kind of where I came with the name, and why it's spelt the way it is because I do pours, literally pouring things, so P-O-U-R. And that's kind of where I got that from. And my little tagline that I like to use is go with the flow. And so I like to use that funny little add-in wherever I can, because it's a fluid motion that the paint is doing on the canvas or any of the materials that I paint on. So that's kind of where the go with the flow, the paint, I just have to go with it, see what happens. I can manipulate it the way I want, but for most part I just kind of let it do its thing before I start trying to manipulate it and doing anything. I tilt it, I shake on it, making it do different things, move the paint really fast if I'm like very vigorous with it. So I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I manipulate the paint and everything to make it flow, but I'll talk about different techniques, different materials and everything that I use in a different video after this, so definitely be checking that out, be watching for that. So a little bit about me, my background in art is that I've loved art ever since I can remember. I have always doodled, always colored. As a kid, we all colored and doodled probably. But as I got older into junior high and then in high school, I was drawing. I was really learning how to draw. I was really learning how to do those kinds of things. And then when I got into high school, I really got into painting, really got into creating with my hands, more than just drawing with a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen. I did take art classes in high school, the ones that everyone's seen, the one that always has the painting, the drawing, the sculpting, and you learn how to do all your basic art, right? And then going on from that one class, I went on into digital art with working on the computer, drawing and creating that way. And I really loved it. I really wanted to pursue that, and I thought that's where I was going with everything. And as an artist, I thought I was going all digital and making digital art, and then going into digital marketing. That was my end goal there, going throughout high school. When they ask you what do you want to do when you graduate high school, I was like, I want to be in digital marketing. Well, that was a dream that I had for a long time. And then as I got into college, I was still painting, was still doing acrylic paintings at home. I was trying to do landscapes and like flowers and things like that. Was horrible at portraits. Never wanted to do those again. That was just horrible. I could not get the human figure correct. I could get animals correct, but I couldn't get the human figure, or the face correct. And to do a correct portrait, or a realistic portrait, if I should say. And so I was seeing these videos, my mom was tagging me on all these videos, seeing this new technique, this very abstract art, that people were putting all this paint into a cup and then pouring it over the canvas and moving it and seeing what happens. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. So I was like, I have to try that. Like, there's no doubt I have to try that. So I went to the art store, the art supply store, and picked up some acrylic paint, picked up some of the medium that I kept reading when I did my research on what I needed. I needed acrylic paint, I needed a fluid medium, and then they were using with a little bit of silicone to create bubbles or cells in these pores. But personally, I'm not a big fan of that aesthetic, so I choose not to add that to my mixture. Rather, I mix a little bit of water in there just to make it a little bit more fluid, and it flows a little bit better on the canvas. Or I can manipulate it just a little bit easier. And so, but I'll talk a little bit more about my materials, techniques, and all of the mixture of the paint with the mediums in my next video. But going from that, just learning it and seeing videos about it and watching the YouTube videos, watching videos I'd be tagged in on Facebook and everything, I was just like, I have to try it, I have to try it. It's just such a cool technique. I love new things in art. New techniques, new colors, new ways of doing something. I just love all of that aspect of art, that it just grows with you. And you can experiment all you want and you can still call it art. At the end of the day, you did art because you experimented. It's kind of a science in a way. That's why some colleges have like certain sciences for art, but going into college, I did the digital art scene. I was going for that. I did a bunch of computer classes. I started that way, and then I just found a love for just creating things with my hands, and wanted to stay in the fine arts of photography, video, music, painting, sculpting, all of it, drawing. I was very blessed and very honored that my parents allowed me to continue on that career path throughout college, and I actually was able to graduate with an associate's in art from Temple Junior College in Temple, Texas. That was a very big accomplishment of mine, and so I can now say that I am a college graduate artist, that I had all the requirements of a art student to graduate college, but just creating, you don't have to have a degree to be an artist. You don't have to have the schooling behind it to be an artist. You can simply watch YouTube videos and create art. You can make things craft-wise. You can paint. You can take photographs. You can make music. Some of the ways of art do take a little bit more skill and a little bit more learning to do. That's why I think painting and like drawing and things like that are a little bit easier to jump into and just create. You learn it through a YouTube video, you learn it through a friend teaching you, and you just go and you create it. So I think art is a very flexible area to be in, a very fun thing to do. I've always loved creating, loved making things, being crafty. Me and my mom would always make crafts together, so it's always been a dream of mine just to get to create and be creative whenever I grew up. And I hope that I get to keep creating, I keep being creative throughout my life. But that's a little bit about my art background, a little bit about how I sell my art, what I do with it after I'm done making art, or never really done making art, are we? But after I'm done with a project or a certain piece, I do sell all of my art. So anything that I have created, any painting, any set of coasters, anything I've experimented with, if you want to buy it, I will happily sell it to you. But I do right now just go to craft fairs in the small town that I live in, and then I do try to expand outward to surrounding towns with their craft fairs. But I do want to get it online and make it easier for people who do not live right near me to experience my art, experience the ability to buy my art. So I do want to get on Etsy or some other art or craft website that allows you to sell through the website. I do have an Instagram and a Facebook page. My Instagram page is all lowercase, pour, P-O-U-R, underscore girl, underscore. And then my Facebook page is capital A for art, underscore with, underscore flow. I know a lot of underscores, but also I know 2 different names for one person of 2 different accounts. But my Instagram page is the same name as I have branded myself, which was also a feat to try to brand yourself. If you ever try to do that, really look at what you're trying to brand, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to tell people, what you're trying to sell. You have to really learn how to sell yourself. Never sell yourself short in any aspect. Price your items at a price that is very fair to you, but also fair to your product and very fair to your audience or your customer base. That is something I have found very difficult at the beginning, but once you learn it, once you know your customer base, who you're selling to, then you can understand how to price things. Definitely was a learning experience to brand myself and to sell literally myself, because art, I put a piece of myself in it. I work tirelessly to do it. So definitely never sell yourself short if you're doing a craft or doing an art and you're trying to sell it. Definitely get your brand out, get your name out there. I have also learned that that is very helpful, is to get your name out there. Then I think just going on with the PourGirl name, I don't do Twitter, just because I never understood it, never wanted to understand it, so I just decided not to do that piece of social media. But I did stick with the Facebook and the Instagram because I know a lot of my friends, a lot of family are on that, and I know they have a lot of friends and family that they can extend my pages to. So if you are looking for a new art page to go follow on either one of those, definitely follow them. But I'm excited to get to share my experience with acrylic pours with you. I'm excited to share my creativity, my knowledge on it, and I hope these videos will be fun, entertaining, insightful, and just relaxing.